Hi, greetings, fellow Trekkers and Trekkers, and welcome to Star Trektember 2024. This month, we're going to take a look at Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5. So, let's begin our look at it with Apocalypse Rising. Captain Benjamin Sisko and Lieutenant Commander Jadzia Dax returned to Deep Space Nine after narrowly fleeing the Klingons at the USS Rio Grande. Due to the declaration of war between the Klingon Empire and the Federation, Starfleet has summoned Captain Benjamin Sisko and Lieutenant Commander Jadzia Dax to Earth to discuss Odo's dire belief that Gowron, the Chancellor of the Klingon High Council, has been replaced by a changeling and is pressing forth the war. Once back on board Deep Space Nine, Sisko informs Major Karen Reese that Starfleet has given them a mission to infiltrate Klingon military headquarters on Tycho Core and expose Gowron by any means necessary. Sisko looks for Odo and Quarks. Quark tells the captain that Odo was one depressed ex-changeling, tells Sisko that he will find him on the upper level. Sitting at his table, Odo is fascinated by the foaming bubbles in his Bajoran ale. When Odo was a changeling, he had no interest in them. Now finds eating and drinking to be comforting. Sisko asks him to join the mission, and Odo recommends Deputy Yandar to go instead of him. Sisko, however, does not want Yandar. He wants Odo. After some initial hesitance, Odo agrees and Sisko orders him to attend a briefing with the other senior officers at 1600 hours. At the briefing mission in the wardroom, Chief O'Brien, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Captain Sisko, and Odo have been selected to go undercover and infiltrate Tycho Core. Worf informs Sisko that getting to Gowron will not be easy, as he is protected at all times by his personal courtesy force, the Yonil Seth, the Brotherhood of the Sword. Sisko has been equipped with prototype modified Plowron emitters and a mission to infiltrate Klingon military headquarters on Tycho Core to expose Gowron to Polaron radiation. If he's a changeling, exposure to the radiation will make it impossible for him to retain his humanoid shape, and the changeling will revert to its natural gelatinous state. All four emitters have to be activated at once, and too much exposure to the radiation will kill a person. They can only make the attempt once. Kira points out that the real trouble will be getting the fourth to Tycho Core unnoticed, to which Sisko replies he has a solution to that. Kira learns Gul Dukat to the space station to use his bird of prey, which Dukat had acquired recently. Expressing surprise at Kira's pregnancy, Dukat tells Kira that First Minister Shakar is a lucky man. Kira informs Dukat that Shakar is not the father, Chief O'Brien is. Dukat stares at Kira in shock as they enter a turbo to go to the promenade. The two come in the station's firmly to find that O'Brien, Odo, and Sisko have been surgically altered to look like Klingons. Sisko, Odo, O'Brien, and Worf set course for Tycho Core with Dukat and his bird of prey. En route, they confer with Dukat to make sure he prepares false identities for them, candidates for the Order of the Batleth who are expected. DeMarc expresses pessimism about the mission and prefers a decisive orbital assault. Sisko and O'Brien, of course, remind him of the outcome they want of exposing Gowron. Dukat appreciates the audacity of the plan. Meanwhile, Bashir and Kara discuss some station matters in Sisko's office. Turning to her carrying the O'Brien's child, Bashir encourages her she is doing fine and will pull through nicely. Kara is also confident that the crew will return, reassuring Bashir. Worf turns to the task of coaching the other three in behaving like Klingons, and, while Sisko proves convincing by backhanding Worf, he was unaware that was a request for a challenge to the death. Meanwhile, O'Brien, and especially Odo, feel miserably by lacking in the Klingon stance and demeanor. Sisko needs to help Odo clear his head with what's happened to him recently. Just then, a Klingon bird of prey confronts him and demands visual contact. However, Dukat's holographic filter malfunctions due to the electronic relay becoming fused. Worf suggests that he talk the other captain down, but Dukat does not put much trust in Worf's ability to lie and abruptly fires the ship's disruptor at the ship, totally destroying it. He quickly orders Damar to leave the area. With the filter offline, Dukat feels he has no choice but to leave the de-assigned officers on Tycho Core and leave Klingon space. When Sisko protests, Dukat assures him that if he is successful, the war will be over and they won't need his ship to return. And if he fails, he won't need transport, since he'll very likely be executed as a spy and saboteur. Beaming to Tycho Core, the group get underway. The order of the battle ceremony is underway in the Hall of Warriors, with hundreds of drunken Klingons intending to celebrate all night in anticipation of Gowron's arrival. Back on the station, Julian Bashir finds Jake Sisko in his usual spot on the upper level, looking over the promenade. Jake explains that the mood on the station is down because of the threat of the Klingons. Ops calls Bashir to the infirmary to tend to passengers from the starships USS Armstrong and USS Drake. They were ambushed by the Klingons and took heavy casualties. Bashir reassures Jake that his dad will be okay before he leaves to tend to the passengers. Bashir reminds Jake that his father undertaking dangerous missions are part of wearing the Starfleet uniform and will probably not change anytime soon. At the ceremony, Worf informs the crew that celebrations are an endurance test, that only those who can drink and celebrate for the whole night and remain conscious the following morning will be inducted into the order. Waiting until morning to set up their emitters, the de-assigned officers begrudgingly partake in the festivities in order to blend in. During the course of the night, Sisko demonstrates his combat skills on several of the Klingons and takes the opportunity to assault a Klingon who had killed one of Sisko's former Starfleet Academy classmates, a Menzonite captain named Laporin. The Sisko used the excuse that the Klingon was in the way of the barrels of blood wine. By the following morning, Sisko and his crew are still coherent, thanks to an alcohol inhibitor provided by Bashir. When Martok arrives, he starts to size up the candidates there, and Sisko fears he may recognize them. He gives them a quapla, and Martok moves on. Since Gowron should be certainly arriving soon, the four begin setting up their emitters. Although Martok feels he recognizes O'Brien, the chief gets away with it by claiming to have fought at Memput along with Martok during the Klingon Civil War, which he presses to temporarily satisfy his curiosity. O'Brien is relieved and places his emitter. Odo is trouble, however, when another Klingon jovially interrupts him and he drops the emitter. Another Klingon picks it up, asking what it is. Odo knocks down the drunken Klingon and asks for the emitter back without saying what it is. Fortunately, Worf interjects and saves him, explaining it is actually a Vulcan toy called a Tingamut, acquired during the Klingons' raid of the Arcanus sector and snatches it back. Just then, Gowron enters. He addresses the crowd and starts with the first Klingon, Hata, while Odo looks to place his emitter. He finds a drunken Klingon standing in the spot where the emitter needs to be placed. This time, though, Odo finds his courage and tosses the Klingon aside before placing the emitter. Sisko prepares to activate them, but is summoned by Gowron to join the Order of Batleth. Sisko accepts the commendation. As he turns, he begins to activate the emitters. When he's attacked from behind with Batleth by Martok, who now recognizes him. Thrown into a holding cell, Martok confronts the four. Sisko presses Martok in return, as he believes that Martok thinks that Gowron is a changeling as well. Martok denies his feelings and admits he has suspected Gowron. Then, he agrees up the de-assigned officers killed Gowron to prove the point. The stranger refused the notion of challenging Gowron to a duel himself. As they fight their way back into the Hall of Warriors, Worf challenges Gowron to a fight to the death, while Martok holds Odo back from the others at gunpoint, strangely unwilling to trust him. Gowron allows the challenge and they fight. When Martok wonders aloud why Sisko doesn't simply shoot Gowron, Odo asks Martok another question. Why didn't Gowron let his bodyguards kill Worf? Because the true Klingon wouldn't just shoot someone, they put honor above all else. However, changelings don't care about honor. Odo concludes that Gowron isn't the changeling, Martok is. Worf gains the upper hand on Gowron and shatters his Batleth, just as he goes on to make the killing blow. Odo and the Martok changeling loudly brawl their way into the hall. Knocked to the ground, Odo exclaims, Martok is the changeling! Exposed, the Martok changeling begins to hook Odo with the tendril of shape-shifting body, but he's blasted back by Sisko's disruptor. As the other Klingons see Martok for what he really is, they begin firing as well, resulting in the changeling's death. Later, Gowron realizes that the Founders have manipulated Odo to believe that he was a changeling, hoping that Starfleet would try to eliminate him. With Gowron dead at the hands of Federation operatives, the Martok changeling would be able to rule the Klingon Empire, excluding wars with the Federation and the Cardassian Union, destroying both powers, destabilizing the Alpha Quadrant and leaving it wide open for a Dominion invasion. Sisko informs him that the best way to strike a blow against the Founders' plan would be to call for an immediate end to the war between the Federation and the Klingon Empire. But Gowron informs Sisko he can't if the Federation refuses to allow the Empire to annex who the Klingons have already captured, including Arcanus. Sisko believes that the Federation won't agree, but believes there's room for negotiation. Satisfied, Gowron decides to declare a ceasefire, to convene the High Council, and to arrange for transportation so the DS9 officers can return home. Before they leave, Gowron compliments Odo, thanks Sisko for doing great service to the Klingon Empire. Finally turns to Worf and promises him that he will regret not killing him when he had the chance, and he will not get another. Back on the station, Bashir is restoring Sisko, Odo, and O'Brien to their original appearance. Returned to his human face, Sisko says, I could do without the ridges, but I kind of miss the fangs. Bashir offers to give Odo any face he likes. Human, Bajoran, Trill. Odo says his old face will do fine. Oh, well, that's kind of sweet, so yeah, anyway. So let's take a look at the production of this episode. Apocalypse Rising was the last Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode to be directed by James L. Conway. Conway reminisced, quote, I was honored to be able to do it. I'd just been hired as Executive Vice President of Spelling Productions, and Ira and Rick Berman begged me to hold off going over there long enough to do the episode. I talked to people at Spelling and they agreed to let me report later, end quote. Although they are never seen very clearly on screen, the various statues of the Klingon Hall of Warriors were designed to give an overview of Klingon history, with the statues representing prominent Klingons of different eras. For example, both Kahless and Chang are included. John Eaves, who designed the statues, also created several new characters, and in its design, he tried to concentrate on the garments worn so as to give a sense of evolution leading into the modern Klingon warrior uniform seen throughout TNG and DS9. The scene depicting the damaged USS Rio Grande was previously used to depict the damaged USS Volga in body parts. This is the first episode in which Ira Steven Behr's executive producer credit is displayed alongside Rick Berman's at the end of the episode. And now finally, let's take a look at some continuities surrounding this episode. This episode basically serves to link up the Klingon War arc of Season 4 with the Dominion War arc of Seasons 5, 6, and 7. After they were impressed by G.G. Hertzler's performance in this episode, the producers made a point to have the real Martok return in Purgatory's Shadow and subsequently become a much more prominent character in the series. The fact that the character killed in Apocalypse Rising as a changeling duplicate of Martok also supported this development. When H.G. recollected, quote, it started us thinking, if he's been replaced, where's the real guy? Maybe he's not dead, maybe we can find him, end quote. Worf states that backhanding other warriors had challenged him to a battle to the death. In Sins of the Father, this also done its part in declaring the warrior as the son of a traitor. It's possible that the two situations are interconnected, and that a traitor's son being backhanded is like saying that they are not worthy enough to be challenged to the death, as they practically have no honor. In this episode, it explained that Kier is in command of the station Sisko's absence, while Worf commands USS Defiant. The decision was made by Ronald D. Moore in conjunction with Ira Steven Behr and Robert Hewitt Wolfe. According to Moore, quote, it came about when we were in the process of defining Worf's duties. In a real command situation, the captain would not always go on dangerous missions, so Worf commands the Defiant. In difference to Sisko, end quote. Similarly, Wolfe explained, quote, essentially, he's the first officer of the ship, while Kier is the first officer of the station, looking for something specific that he did as tactical officer, end quote. This is consistent with Worf commanding the Defiant instead of Kira in Paradise Lost, later contradicted by Kira assuming command in Tears of the Prophets, while that was during battle where Worf was needed at tactical. Gowron tells Worf that he should have killed him when he had the chance, as he will not get another. Gowron is dead wrong about that because Worf gets another chance in tacking into the wind. Similarly, while Gowron's elimination would have paved the way to Martok's imposter succeeding him as Chancellor, the real Martok eventually just does that in tacking into the wind. Lux Prime is mentioned for the second time in this episode. It was previously referred to in the third season episode Heart of Stone, and has apparently been promoted to lieutenant in the interim. Although this was the second time Renee Auberjonois wore Klingon makeup without playing actual Klingon, the new character's motives were precisely the opposite. Colonel West was part of a conspiracy to sabotage peace with the Klingons in Star Trek 60 and Discover Country, whereas Odo's mission was intended to end war with the Klingons. Yeah. So overall, I really do enjoy this episode, and yes, the first episode of season 5, it definitely lays the groundwork as to what's going to happen later on in the season and in the series. So yeah. So overall, I give Apocalypse Rising, I give it 5 warp cores out of 5. But anyway, tune in a bit, wait till the next episode, The Ship. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.